is the screen visible for you? Bharti, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, screen కనిపిస్తుందా మనకు?
కనిపిస్తుంది ma'am.
Okay. You can, while explaining, you can please take down the running notes in the class. Now, today we are going to study about another new financial institution and another financial institution that has been set up in our country to give more and more comfort zone and what do you call saving and deposit prospects to the customers, that is non-banking finance company. As the name is resembling that it is a finance company or it is a financial institution which runs just like a bank, but it is not called as a bank. That means it is going to perform all the functions, all the work that a bank engages or works on, except that these non-banking finance companies do not accept deposits from the customers. అంటే మనము కమర్షియల్ బ్యాంక్స్ లో when we have studied that commercial banks perform two important functions. One is accepting deposits and the other one is lending loans. But if you observe the non-banking finance companies, they are the banking companies which perform all the functions of a bank, but they do not involve in the restriction implied on non-banking finance companies is they are not allowed to accept demand deposits. And they savings deposit accounts, they don't maintain all this. Their only job is lending activities. So to see to it that whoever is in need of money, whenever the credit is required in the market, they are very flexible to lend the loans at a comparative lesser rate of interest at a very comfortable in a very comfortable process, instead of involving more and more formalities lekunda ఎక్కువ rules and regulations lekunda, with low paperwork, within less period of time, within a short span of time, they are going to sanction the loans to the customers. Such a banking company, you call it as a non-banking finance company. Now, the question is why these non-banking finance companies have been involved. There are already many commercial banks which are actively running in the country. Then what is the use? అంటే ఈ non-banking finance companies setup చేయడానికి reason ఏంటి అంటే, there are many people in our country, many individuals, customers, who always have some kind of traditional thinking in their mind that they cannot turn up to the bank, or they may not understand the terms, rules and regulations of the bank. That is why they are still depending on money lenders, pawn brokers. And banks kochi comfortable ga loan teeskone what do you call knowledge kani awareness kani ledu kabatti, they are still going to money lenders and pawn brokers. By this, what happening? Many of the though there are many commercial banks running in the country, still the upper hand is there for the money lenders and pawn brokers are leading in the country. They are playing a upper hand in the market. Atla kaakunda to spread, there are many areas where the commercial banks could not reach at that time. That is why the non-banking finance companies have come up, and low to low credit, very minimum amount also they are ready to give. They give all types of loans for infrastructural development, for education purpose, or for housing loans, or for setting up of new business enterprises. Like this, the non-banking companies are rigorously working to reach the unreached. There are many people who are still hesitating or who does not have awareness of the process of taking loans from the banks, and they doesn't like these kind of formalities. So because of that, they are not coming forward to approach the commercial bank. For those people, the non-banking finance companies are very helpful. And the another credit goes to non-banking finance companies is They are not, though they are a purely private organization, they are working as per the regulations of Reserve Bank of India. That means to set up these non-banking finance companies, they have to fulfill certain criteria requirements. That means this is the capital adequacy ratio they have to maintain. They have to follow all the legal rules and regulations, all the documentation process. Once the Reserve Bank is satisfied with all the documents and the legal formalities that have been done by the non-banking finance company, then they will be registered at NBFCs and they will be given permission to act as a non-banking finance company. That means the difference you can observe here, how the non-banking finance company versus our commercial banks. What is the difference or the role that they are going to play? If you observe keenly, as I said in the beginning, non-banking finance company is a banking company. It will perform all the functions, all the activities like a bank. That is short-term loans, medium-term loans, long-term loans. For various developmental activities, it will lend out at a nominal rate of interest, at a comfortable rate of interest, they are going to charge. At the same time, they are not going to accept the deposit. This is the basic difference between a non-banking company and a commercial bank. That means non-banking companies are not involved in accepting deposits from the public. Second thing, though it is a private bank, though they are the banks which are not working as a commercial bank, but they will be running as per the regulations of the RBI. RBI should give the permission, licensing to them to work, and they do not have banking license. Remember, they do not have the banking license, but they can work as a finance company here. Another thing is, all commercial banks are going to act as or being established as per the Banking Regulation Act. But the non-banking finance companies does not fall under that particular bracket. They do not fall, or they are not registered or not regulated as per the Reserve Bank of India Act. So there is the licensing for them is being denied. There is these banks, if you observe, the commercial banks do not play any non-banking activities. They are purely working or perform the functions of a bank. Whereas all the non-banking finance companies, other than accepting the deposits, they are going to work as per the commercial bank only. So these are the differences that you can observe between a commercial bank and the non-banking finance companies. Please make the habit of taking running notes. While I'm explaining, please write down the points on it so that you can remember and you can easily understand them while preparing for the exams. Now, if you can observe the screen, role of non-banking finance companies. What are the functions or the things that the non-banking finance company is going to do? One is they do focus on development of sectors like transport and infrastructure. As I said, non-banking finance companies are involved in lending of various term loans, short-term loans, medium-term loans, long-term loans. Their basic objective is to give funding for the major projects which are involved in infrastructure development. It can be transportation, it can be project building, it can be a metro rail project, it can be any construction activity for the development of the country. Second thing, non-banking finance companies are playing a major role in lending loans for the startup companies. Any individual who is going to approach the bank for with a new project, with a new business idea, then they are going to help support them for that. That is how they are creating employment opportunities to many unemployed citizens in our country. Then, as they are giving supporting various types of loans and credit facilities, indirectly or directly, they are creating wealth in the country. That means flow of money is possible with the support of non-banking finance companies. And thereby, when the money flow is high, when the employment generation is high, when more number of loans have been rendered on infrastructure development, the overall economic development of the country is possible. That means directly or indirectly, the non-banking finance companies are giving their support for the economic development of the country. This is all about the NBFCs. Am I clear with this topic?
Yes, ma'am.
Notes తీసుకుంటున్నారా అమ్మా? You please make a habit of taking running notes అమ్మా.
మేము రాస్తున్నాం.
Fine.
Okay, madam.
This is about non-banking finance companies, and by this we have completed all the first segment, that is the financial system of our country is divided into 4 segments. One is financial institutions, second we have financial markets, third we have financial instruments, fourth category is financial services. So with the topic of NBFCs, we have completed all the we have completed the study of all financial institutions in our country. Okay. Now we'll move to the another topic, that is banking sector reforms. Banking sector reforms. Reform means forming something again. We are forming something which is already formed by making some minute changes in them, so that it is going to match up to the present trend or present market. Now, what is this? Reforms means we are forming it again. We are setting it up again. We are establishing it again. Now, banking sector reforms means we are bringing some changes, some kind of what do you call manipulations, or some kind of changes have been brought in the sector of banking. This is what you call it as banking sector reforms. And a banking industry law, certain changes we are going to get, government has initiated certain changes. What are those changes? How the changes have supported the financial system of the country and uplifted the economic development of the country? This is what we are going to learn under the topic of banking sector reforms. Hope you understood the title, reforms.
Yes, ma'am.
Reforming means forming it again. Konni marpulu, konni changes chestu, we are going to make certain changes in the banking sector. This is what you call it as banking sector reforms. Now, after the industrialization, that is after 1948, after the industrial revolution took place in our country. Industrial revolution means setting up of more and more industries in the country. After independence, country has become aware of all the competitive strategies in our country. People started getting awareness, gaining knowledge about the finance, economic aspects, and the competition has increased. Increase in competition has led to setting up of more and more industries. More and more industries vachayi ante more business ideas, many new products, many new services have come up into the market. By this, what happened? Severe cutthroat competition have been evolved in the country. And as we have studied in the last classes, that is during 1960s, 1970s, 1980s, many commercial banks have been set up in our country. Many commercial banks have been nationalized in our country. And many commercial banks have been bought under the control of the government. And the reason behind setting up of commercial banks is to accept deposits and to provide and to lend the loans. That is to make a point for the savers and investors to meet together. That was the basic objective. Now, when this banking sector is running like this, government has observed that certain changes must be brought. Why? Because though there are many commercial banks that are running in the country, still Still, many rural people, many individuals who are dependent upon agriculture sector, farming sector, they started approaching the money lenders and pawn brokers instead of coming to the commercial banks. అప్పటికే మనకు నాబార్డ్ సెటప్ అయిపోయింది, many commercial banks కూడా ఉన్నాయి, but still why people are running behind these money lenders and what do you call indigenous bankers, the traditional bankers? They're not approaching or hesitating to come to the banking sector, commercial banks. Why? Because first thing, they are under an impression, first of all, they do not have perfect awareness of on what things the commercial banks are working. A commercial banks functions enti, a perfect knowledge anedi, many rural people does not have this. They doesn't have awareness on that. Second point is, though few people are already aware about the commercial banks, their functioning, their roles and all, still they hesitate to turn up to commercial bank, thinking that the banks takes lot of time for them for sanctioning of loan, lot of paperwork is required, lot of documentation process is involved. And because of all these things, the traditional thinking aspects, many people hesitate or deny to approach the commercial banks. By this, what happened? The money lenders' strategies, the what do you call, the importance of money lenders and the pawn brokers started increasing in our country. Then the government has initiated a step to bring certain reforms in the banking sector. With that initiation, they have first taken up the role of bringing certain changes in the banking sector by handovering this responsibility to the Narsimham Committee during 1991. Now, who is this Narsimham? What is this committee is? This Mandavoyina Narsimham, his full name is M. Narsimham. He acted as the RBI governor during 1977. Now, he is a very good economist, financialist, who has very broad knowledge about the development aspects and the banking sector in our country. So the government of India has given the responsibility to Mr. Narsimham, Mandavoyina Narsimham. He is also called as the father of banking sector reforms. You can please write down this point. He is also called as the father of banking sector reforms because he has given his maximum effort for bringing changes in the banking sector for the overall development of the financial system in our country. Now, the Narsimham committee, Narsimham along with a team of members has formed as a committee called Narsimham Committee, and the responsibility of bringing certain changes has been given to the Narsimham Committee under the leadership of Mandavoyina Narsimham. Now, under his leadership, he started studying about where the backlogs are, where the problem is, why though we have many commercial banks and NABARD set up in our country, why there is still there is some kind of what do you call deficiency that is being observed in the banking sector, thinking that the Narsimham Committee started observing certain things in our country. Why do we need the reforms? Why this what do you call reforms are required, and where the deficiency is, or where the banking sector is failing to attract more number of individuals in our country. During that period, there was a huge inflation time running in our country. Probably you might be having an idea. Inflation is a period where a very boom or high rise in the interest loans on all the there will be hike on any prices increase outai. High price in domestic products రేట్లు పెరిగిపోతూ ఉంటాయి మార్కెట్ లో, లోన్ రేట్ ఆఫ్ ఇంట్రెస్ట్ పెరిగిపోతూ ఉంటుంది, where people find it very difficult for movement of money in the country. The movement of money will become very hard and tough in the country. That is high inflation period that is running in the country, and lot of public deficit and a deficiency of GDP, deficiency of deposit rates in the country, which was running or being observed by the Narsimham Committee during that period. Now, observing that situation in the country, Narsimham, along with his team members, has submitted a report to the government of India to bring certain reforms in various aspects of banking. These rates or the things what I am showing here, you will follow or you will understand them after the few slides. But meanwhile, remember that Narsimham Committee has submitted 2 reports. His first report has stated about bringing some basic structural changes in the banking sector. And whatever the commercial banks branches are there, which are running at that time, they're not sufficient. Are we main urban areas low? I mean, what do you call? They are there in the metropolitan and the main cities. And there are still many villages where the commercial banks are not have been set up. So Narsimham Committee has suggested to set up more number of branches which are very close and which are being which have to be set up in rural areas, remote village areas lo kuda bank set up cheyali and suggest chesindi. The second changes what they have suggested is during that period when the commercial banks have been set up, nationalized, that period what happened, there is an increase in NPA, non-performing assets. Non-performing assets ante people will take the loan, bank will lend them a loan, but bank fail to collect the loans from the customers. And recovering the loan has become a toughest task for the commercial bank. Endukante that time they have lent the loans at a very lower rate of interest. Agriculturist farmers ki well loans icharu, but a loan ni recover chesukodam anedi, it was a very big task for the commercial bank. So majority of the loans which have been given to agriculture sector, farmers and all, they have been into pending without recovery. So ఇప్పుడు ఆ లాంగ్ స్టాండింగ్ లో రికవర్ చేయని లోన్స్ ని యూ కాల్ దెమ్ యాజ్ ఏ నాన్ పర్ఫార్మింగ్ అసెట్స్. సో ఈ నాన్ పర్ఫార్మింగ్ అసెట్స్ డే బై డే ఇంక్రీజ్ అవుతూ ఉన్నాయి కమర్షియల్ బ్యాంక్స్ లో. సో దిస్ ఈస్ ఆల్సో బీయింగ్ అబ్జర్వ్డ్. అండ్ దెన్ నరసింహం కమిటీ సజెస్టెడ్ దట్ వీ హ్యావ్ టు స్పీడ్ అప్ అవర్ రికవరీ ప్రాసెస్. Whatever the loans that have been lent to the needy people, commercial bank should take a step to recover them at the earliest. ఇప్పటికే చాలా టైం అయిపోయింది, we could not able to collect, and if we could not able to collect, then many of the banks or the commercial banks will go into losses, which is against the objective of commercial banks, because the basic intention or objective of commercial bank is profit making. That is the basic idea of commercial bank. But when the number of NPAs are increasing and where the banks fail to recover the non-performing assets, they are going into losses, which becomes a question of the existence of commercial bank now. So this Narsimham Committee has suggested the banks to be more active, to become more strong enough to collect the all the non-performing assets must be recovered. This is being framed in his first recommendation report. One is to focus on what is that? What are the 2 points we studied?
Banking setup mandatory in rural areas.
Okay, setting up of more number of branches, reach the unreached people, setting up of commercial banks in rural areas. What is the second point, ma?
NPA speed up our recovery.
NPA must speed up, yes. Banks must speed up the recovery of non-performing assets. And the third point is liberalization policy. And a bank is set up chedanki, your government or RBI has framed a lot of formalities, rules, paperwork, documentation. So in order to set up more number of branches, it is better to liberalize and koncham free hand money to easily set up. Do not insist much on the rules and regulations for the banks, to give a free hand to set up more and more banks in the country. This is what the recommendations made by Narsimham committee in his first report. Apart from that, to reduce the interest rate, to increase the savings bank account interest rates, these are the other nominal suggestions the committee has recommended. Then he has submitted the second report in 1998. During 1991, the first report was submitted. Later, during the period of 1998, second report of this, Narsimham has been submitted on 22nd April 1998. Now, these recommendations are, you can observe in the slide, strengthening the banking sector, narrow banking, capital holding, computerization of accounts, evaluation of accounts. Now, that means here, if you observe in the second phase, Narsimham committee suggested for upgradation of banking sector. That means the regular savings account, deposit accounts, kakunda, come up with certain new schemes which are very attractive, to the customers with a good rate of interest. That is first criteria. Second thing, bring up technological advancements in the banking sector. Technological advancements means in earlier days, if you observe the traditional banking law, if you observe, to withdraw the money, to deposit the money, we used to approach the bank. We have to fill up a withdrawal form. We have to fill up a deposit form. Go standing lines for hours together. Lot of time consuming, and we have to go on working day. And the one who is already working in some other offices, they will not have time for them. And Sunday will be the holiday. They cannot turn up on that days. They have to form a long queues in the bank, wasting lot many hours and all. And all traditional banking law, lot of paperwork was involved, lot of time consumption. That was which were the hindrances of the banking sector. Narsimham committee suggested that make everything computerized, so that it will take lesser time to do the process. Second thing, you don't require more number of people to work. One individual with one system, he can complete the work at a earliest time than what actually it required. And apart from that, all the accounts, whatever they are used to maintain on books, on papers and files, they must be done on computers. So by this, what happened? There was a development observed. Are we observing the development or not? Nowadays, we need not to go to the bank, neither for withdrawal, nor for deposit. For depositing, we have deposit machines. For withdrawals, we have ATM machines. Apart from that, nowadays people are not even interested to go to ATM, because we don't require cash into our hands in few exceptional cases, because all our transactions we were able to run on our fingertips through our mobile phones, UPIs, Google Pay, Phone Pay, Paytm and all, and through online transactions, through mobile banking apps. So the banking sector has become too much advanced nowadays. This is what the suggestions or the recommendations that have been made by the Narsimham committee during that period. And basing on the recommendations he made, lot of reforms have been brought up. Changed the structure of the banking system, changed the and one more point also, the Narsimham committee suggested that give up this recruitment process to open market. Instead of government, RBI involving in the recruitment of employees for the banking sector, let us give it to an open market. That means an open exam to be conducted where the officials will be selected basing upon the score they got on in the open market, calling them for interview. By this, what happens? We can select the best employee with good awareness, skills, and background knowledge of banking activities. So, and after recruiting them, they will be trained on various aspects because nowadays everything is computerized. They must be aware of how to hold the accounts on a computer system, how to make the logins, how to avoid errors, how to avoid manipulations, how to avoid the fraud that can be encountered through the what do you call networking areas and all. These kind of recommendations are being made by the Narsimhan Committee in his second report, and Government of India and RBI, I found them as very interesting and very useful for the country, and that is how the implementation has taken place. And the result is in front of us. You can observe that nowadays lot of development has been taken place in the banking sector. Will you all agree with my statement or not? Is there a
Yes,
development
ma'am.
in banking sector?
Yeah, ma'am.
Yes, we
100%.
need not to go to a bank. We need not to spend hours together. We can just simply go to the nearest ATM, or else we can simply make our transactions only through our phone, our laptop, our phone. Very comfortable. And any kind of loan is very accessible for us. Loan ki kuda you can take many pre-approved loans. Online lo loans vachestunnayi manaku on a fingertips we are working. This is the output that have been generated by the Indian banking system from the recommendations made by the Narsimham Committee in his first and second report. So these are the changes that have been brought. This is what all about banking sector reforms. Am I clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So we have studied, one is non-banking finance companies and the banking sector. You can write down these points, ma. Recommendations made and also reforms after recommendation. Reforms and recommendations chesaka, what are the changes or implementations that have been made? Minimizing of NPA, open market recruitment, training, various schemes were introduced, banks entered capital market and long-term loans. Banks started funding their amount for major projects, infrastructural development, transportation, electricity, irrigation facilities, and authorized to issue bonds. Banks have been permitted to issue bonds. Bonds and these are like what do you call? If you purchase a bond that by spending some amount, it is an indication that you are saving your money on that particular bond. You will be paid a coupon rate on that bond, and at a vertical at an attractive rate of interest, you can make it is a kind of saving to the customers by purchasing the bonds. That is all. Bonds and government bonds untai. If you buy them, that means you can what do you call? You can fix your money or can save your money with the central bank for a certain period of time. Whenever you want, after the maturity period, you can take back the money or you can continue with the same bond. This is banks are allowed to issue the bonds on behalf of government. So this is what the reforms or the changes that have been taken place in the banking sector. This is also one of the important question for you, Bharti.
Okay, ma'am.
Now, shall we move to the next topic?
Okay, ma'am.
We are moving to, by this banking sector reforms, we have completed with block 1 of your syllabus. You can go through the syllabus copy later. And the second segment we are entering or starting up with is Block 2, financial markets. Block 2, financial markets. Now, as we have studied that, the financial system of our country is majorly classified into 4 types. One is financial institutions, all that we have completed in block 1. Okay. Second is financial markets. Third is financial instruments. And the fourth one is financial services. So today we are going to start with the financial market. What is this financial market? As we know that the basic idea of a financial system is to see to it that savers and investors meet together. That means, shall I go with the first slide, whatever we have studied? I'll go there and come back immediately. You can just observe. What did we study in financial system? This is the structure of financial system. Financial system is classified into 4 segments. These are highlighted in red color. Please observe. Financial institutions, markets, instruments, and services. Manam first topic lo in block 1, we have completed the financial institutions. Financial institutions lo we studied about banking institutions and non-banking institutions. Commercial banks, cooperative banks, foreign banks, private bank, public bank. We have studied and completed all this. Now, the second segment is financial markets. Under this, you are going to study what are the unorganized sector, organized sector, capital market, and money market. Okay. And second thing, what I want you to learn is why this financial system is basically working. What is the basic idea of financial system? This is where creating money, circulating money, and managing money. It is a place, the financial system basically facilitate transfer of funds between savers and borrowers. So with this objective, we are going to study about how the financial markets are helping us. You can look at this. Savers, financial intermediaries and investors. ఈ ఇంటర్మీడియరీస్ లో ఎవరు ఉంటారు? ఇట్ కెన్ బి ఫైనాన్షియల్ ఇన్స్టిట్యూషన్స్ ఉండొచ్చు, ఫైనాన్షియల్ మార్కెట్స్ అవ్వచ్చు, ఫైనాన్షియల్ ఇన్స్ట్రుమెంట్స్ అవ్వచ్చు, ఫైనాన్షియల్ సర్వీసెస్ అవ్వచ్చు. బేసిక్ ఐడియా ఏంటి? సేవర్స్ ఉంటారు, అంటే డిపాజిటర్స్ ఉంటారు. ఆ డిపాజిటర్స్ దే కెనాట్ గో అండ్ డైరెక్ట్లీ ఇన్వెస్ట్ ద మనీ ఇన్ different business companies, business or business ideas. So what they'll do, they will save the money with bank or with financial institutions. అలా సేవ్ చేసిన మనీని బ్యాంక్స్ ఏం చేస్తాయి? బ్యాంక్స్ దగ్గర మనం సేవింగ్ డిపాజిట్స్, ఫిక్స్డ్ డిపాజిట్స్ వైజ్ గా we will keep our money with the bank. What money bank will do? Bank will give or rotate our money to the investors. అంటే ఎవరికైతే అవసరం ఉందో, బిజినెస్ పెట్టుకోవడానికో, ఒక ఇండస్ట్రీ సెటప్ చేసుకోవడానికో, లేదంటే ఒక న్యూ ప్రాజెక్ట్ చేసుకోవడానికో, whoever is in need of money for various business ideas and all, bank will lend the loans. This is the basic function of financial system. So ఇప్పుడు మనం financial institutions, how they worked for this objective we have studied. Then we'll come back to ఈ financial markets ఎట్లా help చేస్తాయి, how they are going to help us in reaching the objective of savings and meeting a point for savings and investors. That is what you are going to study in financial market. Now, first let us learn what is this financial market. Market means a place where some buying and selling activity will take place. Now here, whenever I am telling the market, do not take it as a vegetable market or wholesale market. It is a market where the securities are purchased and sold. Basically, market ante enti, a place where something will be purchased and something will be sold. Now, what is this financial market? Financial market is a place where financial securities are purchased and sold. Now the question is, what is this financial securities? Financial security can be a share. You can write down you can please take down the running notes. I repeat once again, what is this financial market? A financial market is a market in which financial securities are purchased and sold. What is this financial securities? A financial security can be a share, it can be a bond, it can be a debenture, it can be gold, it can be any kind of commodities. All those fall into the financial market. ఎక్కడైతే షేర్స్, డిబెంచర్స్, బాండ్స్ పర్చేస్ చేసి సేల్ చేస్తామో that kind of market, you call it as financial market. Am I clear with the introduction of this?
Yes, ma'am.
Clear, madam.
Now, you can please take down the running notes. I'll keep the slide for a few seconds. You can write down what is the meaning of financial market. ఇక్కడ మీకు slide లో కనిపిస్తుంది. It is a market in which financial securities are purchased and sold. Second thing, financial markets refers to the institutional arrangement for dealing in financial assistance credit instruments of different types, such as it can be currency, it can be check, it can be bank deposit, it can be bills, it can be bonds, it can be any financial share, debenture, anything. Now, let us come to the point of what are the functions of financial markets. As I said, the entire financial system, the creation of money, see to it that money is circulated in the country. సో దీనికోసం ఏం చేస్తారు, వేరియస్ సెక్యూరిటీస్ ని పర్చేస్ చేస్తూ సేల్స్ చేస్తూ ఉంటారు. పర్చేస్ చేయడం ఎందుకు, సేల్ చేయడం ఎందుకు అని అంటే, వై దే ఆర్ సెల్లింగ్, ఎవరికైతే సపోజ్ ఇఫ్ భారతి ఈస్ హ్యావింగ్ సమ్ 2 lakhs rupees in her hand, భారతికి కన్ఫ్యూజన్, ఈ 2 lakhs rupees ఎక్కడ సేవ్ చేయాలి, ఎక్కడ పెట్టాలి అని. First point that click to Bharati mind is, okay, let me save in my savings bank account. ఒక బ్యాంక్ అకౌంట్ లో పెట్టేసుకుందామని. Then she thought, bank account లో పెడితే ఏమొస్తుంది, she'll get 8% rate of interest, నామినల్ తక్కువ రేట్ ఆఫ్ ఇంట్రెస్ట్ వస్తుంది. బట్ మై మనీ ఈజ్ సేఫ్. అఫ్ కోర్స్ సేవింగ్ బ్యాంక్ లో పెట్టుకుంటే మనీ సేఫ్ గా ఉంటది. బట్ వెన్ ఎవర్ షీ ఫీల్ టెంప్టింగ్, షీ విల్ withdraw the money. So it's not guaranteed that she will keep the money safely for a longer period of time. అది ఖర్చు పెట్టకుండా ఉంటుందనే గ్యారంటీ లేదు. She may tempt and she may withdraw the money as and when required. That's how that balance may come down. So what she thought, let me buy some shares, let me buy some government bonds. ఏం చేసింది, ఒక సెంట్రల్ గవర్నమెంట్ బాండ్, 2 bonds కొనుక్కుంది. ఈచ్ బాండ్ వర్త్ ఆఫ్ rupees 1 lakh rupees. She purchased 2 bonds, each bond worth of rupees and 1 lakh. And she will be getting some higher attractive rate of interest. And the lock-in period ఉంటుంది bonds ki. Lock-in period might be 1 year, 1.5 years, or it can be 6 months. Or if required, you may also extend the period also. It is up to you. If you want to continue, you can continue, or you can withdraw the money after 1 year. ఈ 1 year వరకు what is the benefit? The 2 lakh rupees is safe with central government. All that you are getting higher and very good rate of interest. Yes, are you all with me? You are able to follow my example?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Good rate of interest వస్తుంది. Central government పెట్టినామంటే your money 2 lakh rupees is safe. This is what the benefit. And you will get awareness of the financial market. Competitors ఎట్లా ఉన్నారు, ఇంకా నా మనీని ఎలా డబుల్ చేసుకోవాలి, ట్రిపుల్ చేసుకోవాలి. Your money can be enhanced. This is what the benefit you get with buying. So you purchased the bond and you are in it. All of a sudden, okay, 8 months tarvata, Bharti is in urgent requirement to for some medical emergency. She requires some 2 lakhs rupees. So she thought of selling her bond. అంటే నువ్వు బాండ్ పర్చేస్ చేసావు, పర్చేస్ చేశాక ఆఫ్టర్ ఎ సర్టన్ పీరియడ్ డ్యూ టు సర్టన్ ఫైనాన్షియల్ ఎమర్జెన్సీ యూ వాంట్ టు సెల్ యువర్ బాండ్. After selling, you realize the market price was 2,70,000 rupees. That means you purchase చేసింది 2 lakhs rupees కి, కానీ అమ్ముతుంది ఎంత అమ్ముతున్నావు? At what
2
price you are selling?
270.
2,70,000. That means is that 70,000 rupees is an income what
Profit.
you generated on that or not?
Generator, madam.
Return
Yes,
that you
ma'am.
generated. That means that much flexible. ఎప్పుడంటే అప్పుడు నువ్వు దాన్ని అమ్మేసుకొని యూ కెన్ కన్వర్ట్ యువర్ మనీ. సెకండ్ థింగ్, పెట్టిన దాని మీద నీకు రిటర్న్స్ వస్తుంది. థర్డ్ థింగ్, యువర్ మనీ వాజ్ సేఫ్ విత్ సెంట్రల్ గవర్నమెంట్. బాండ్స్ అన్ని సెంట్రల్ గవర్నమెంట్ బాండ్స్ ఉంటాయి కాబట్టి ఇట్ ఈస్ వెరీ సేఫ్. సో నీ టైంకి నీకు అవసరం ఉన్నప్పుడు అమౌంట్ you got return. Second thing, you were able to save for a certain period of time. You get some return interest on it. This is what the benefit what you get with financial markets. అంటే పర్చేసింగ్ అండ్ సెల్లింగ్ అంటే అదే అమ్మా. ఇక్కడ ఎప్పుడైతే మనకు అవసరం ఉంటుందో మనం అమ్మేసుకోవచ్చు, లేదంటే మనకు కావాల్సిన పీరియడ్ లో మన దగ్గర when you have money you go and purchase. When you want money, you sell it, convert into liquid cash. So that kind of liquidity benefit is available. This is what you observe with the first point. Facilitate creation and allocation of credit and liquidity. అంతేకాకుండా ఆన్ దట్ బాండ్స్, ఆ బాండ్ ని టెన్యూర్ అవ్వలేదు అనుకో, సపోజ్ ఇంకా 3 months ఉంది, నువ్వు దాన్ని తీయడానికి లేదు. సో వాట్ కెన్ యూ డూ? ఆన్ దట్ యూ కెన్ రేజ్ ఎ లోన్. You can request the concerned authorities, నా బాండ్ మీ దగ్గర పెట్టుకొని నాకు లోన్ ఇవ్వమని, at a lower rate of interest you can generate loan on it. So you can take a loan on it and it is liquid thing. Liquid అంటే very easy to convert into cash. నీ సెక్యూరిటీస్ ని నువ్వు విత్ ఇన్ a short span of time you can convert into cash easily. Second thing, by this what you are doing, you are mobilizing your savings. Good rate of interest financial market istundi kabatti you are encouraged towards savings aspect. And by this what happened, ante these bonds, shares, debentures, దీనికి there is no stipulated amount. లక్ష పెట్టే కొనాలి లేకపోతే 5 లక్షలు ఉన్నోళ్ళే కొనాలని లేదు. If you have 500 rupees also, you can save that 500 rupees with the financial market. You can purchase some 500 rupees worth of shares. You can purchase a bond for 500 rupees. ఎంత మినిమల్ అమౌంట్ నుండి మాక్సిమం అమౌంట్ వరకు you have all ranges. So that ఒక నార్మల్ బిలో మిడిల్ క్లాస్ పర్సన్ నుండి హై క్లాస్ సొసైటీ పర్సన్ వరకు కూడా యూ కెన్ సేవ్ ద మనీ, యూ కెన్ డిపాజిట్ ద మనీ, యూ కెన్ సేవ్ ద మనీ, యూ కెన్ జనరేట్ ద మనీ అవుట్ ఆఫ్ ఇట్. సో దానివల్ల ఏం జరుగుతుంది, కంట్రీలో ఉన్న ఇండివిజువల్స్ అండి, ఆల్ సిటిజన్స్ హావ్ బీన్ డెవలపింగ్ ఈక్వల్లీ. ఒక బ్యాలెన్స్డ్ డెవలప్మెంట్ పాసిబుల్ అవుతుంది. దెన్ టు ప్రొవైడ్ ఫైనాన్షియల్ కన్వీనియన్స్, as I told, it is very convenient. You can lend, you can take out anytime. To cater to the various credit needs of the business houses. And various purposes you may take the loans from the financial market. Am I clear?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Now look at this. Types of financial markets. Types of financial markets. Now, these financial markets are broadly classified into 2 important markets. One is capital market. This is projected in red mark here, capital market. And the second one is money market. So what is the difference between capital market and money market? Capital market is a market where all the financial securities related to long term are being purchased and sold. అంటే ఒక లాంగ్ టర్మ్ మోర్ దాన్ 1 year మెచ్యూరిటీ పీరియడ్ మోర్ దాన్ 1 year ఉంటే, సపోజ్ నువ్వు ఒక సెక్యూరిటీ ఒక షేర్స్ లో ఇన్వెస్ట్ చేసావు, దాని టర్మ్ పీరియడ్ 1.5 year, 2 years, 3 years ఉంది. సో అలాంటి ఇన్వెస్ట్మెంట్స్ ని యూ కాల్ దెమ్ యాజ్ లాంగ్ టర్మ్ ఇన్వెస్ట్మెంట్స్. ఇవన్నీ కూడా నీకు క్యాపిటల్ మార్కెట్ లో పర్చేస్ చేసి సేల్ చేస్తూ ఉంటారు. విచ్ హ్యావ్ ఎ మెచ్యూరిటీ పీరియడ్ ఆఫ్ మోర్ దాన్ 1 year, యూ కాల్ దెమ్ యాజ్ capital market. all those financial securities which are purchased and sold having a time or a repayment period of less than 1 year, you call it as a money market. Simple ga cheppalante, money market is a short term loan market. Capital market is a long term loan market. Ante capital market lo long term loans istu untaru. మనీ మార్కెట్ లో షార్ట్ టర్మ్ లోన్స్ ఇస్తూ ఉంటారు. ఈ షార్ట్ టర్మ్ లాంగ్ టర్మ్ ఎలా ఐడెంటిఫై చేయాలి అంటే, సెక్యూరిటీస్ ఏవైతే లెస్ దాన్ 1 year మెచ్యూరిటీ పీరియడ్ ఉన్నాయో యూ కాల్ దెమ్ యాజ్ మనీ మార్కెట్ ఇన్స్ట్రుమెంట్స్. అండ్ ద సెక్యూరిటీస్ విచ్ హ్యావ్ a life of more than 1 year, or the maturity period, repayment period is more than 1 year, all that will fall under capital market. The basic difference you have to remember. Am I clear with this?
Yes, ma'am.
Capital market is long-term market where the securities of having the maturity period of more than 1 year are purchased and sold. Whereas money market is a market where the financial securities having a maturity period of less than 1 year are purchased and sold. Am I clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Then let us learn. First, we'll focus on the capital market, then we will move to the money market. If you observe this, capital market and in Japan, it is a market where long-term securities are purchased and sold, having a maturity period of more than 1 year. Now, this capital market is going to work in 3 different segments. 3 different forms lo work chestu untundi. One is capital market can be further subclassified into 3 types. Industrial securities market is the first one. Are you able to look at the screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. The first classification is industrial securities market. Second వచ్చేసి government securities market. And the third one is long-term loans market. Please write down. Make a note of it. So industrial securities market, government securities market. Generally, government securities market, we call them as bonds. Industrial securities market, we call them as shares and debentures. Long-term loans ante manaku commercial banks lo loans etla istaro, that kind of loan market, you call it as long-term loan market. Now we'll study one by one. First, we'll study about what is this industrial securities market. Now, as the name is indicating, it is a market which is purely or mostly advantageous to the industrialists who are ready to invest their money in the form of shares and debentures. In the form of shares and debentures. So before moving into what are these various types of shares and debentures, let me give you a glance about what is this share. Share is, please write down a running note, ma. Share means a small part of capital of the company. A small part of capital of the company. Capital ante telusu kada, business start chestappudu manaku kavalsina amount. Suppose Mahendra wants to set up an industry which requires certain 50 lakhs. Mahendra wants to set up an industry which need a capital of 50 lakhs. ఆ 50 lakhs లో మరి మహేందర్ దగ్గర ఉంది ఓన్లీ 10 lakh rupees ఉంది మహేందర్ సేవింగ్స్. మోర్ హీ రిక్వైర్స్ 40 lakhs rupees. ఆ 40 lakhs కి ఏం చేస్తాడు? ఈ 40 lakhs కి he will approach a bank. But bank is also not ready to give that 40 lakh rupees. Bank may give the loan maximum up to 20 lakhs rupees to him. అంటే 20 lakhs loan వచ్చింది, 10 lakhs తన దగ్గర ఉన్నాయి. Total 30 lakhs. How much more he needed now?
20 lakhs.
More 20 lakhs కావాలి. ఆ 20 lakhs ని 20 parts గా డివైడ్ చేశాడు. Each part is worth of how much? 20 lakhs ni 20 parts ga divide cheste each part is worth of how much?
1 lakh.
1 lakh rupees. that each one, that small part of capital, you call it as share. ఎప్పుడైతే నీ క్యాపిటల్ ని చిన్న పార్ట్స్ గా డివైడ్ చేసి ఈచ్ పార్ట్ ని ఒక వాల్యూకి అమ్ముతూ లేకపోతే రేజ్ చేస్తావో ఫండ్స్ ని, యూ కాల్ ఇట్ యాజ్ ఎ షేర్. సో దట్ స్మాల్ 1 lakh rupees. సో మహేందర్ కంపెనీలో Yasmin want to invest the money, Bharti want to invest the money because they are good friends. Yasmin want to buy 2 shares. Each share value enta 1 lakh rupees. So Yasmin invested 2 lakh rupees in Mahender's company. Bharti invested 3 lakhs rupees. That means Bharti purchased 3 lakh worth of 3 shares she purchased. Like this, each one of you will be buying some shares from Mahender company. Now the question is, what is the benefit Bharti and Yasmin will get? They will get a benefit called, what is the benefit they'll get? Will they get an interest on it? What is that interest you call it as? What is the benefit that we raise on shares? Return on shares nemantaru. You might have worked out the problems also. Dividend. What do you call them as? Hello? Are you all with me?
Yes, ma'am.
Share paina return వచ్చేదాన్ని what do you call it as? Dividend. So Yasmin and Bharti will get a percentage of dividend. వాళ్ళు 2 lakhs rupees, 3 lakhs rupees Mahender companyలో invest చేస్తే they'll be paid a good rate of dividend on it. This is what the benefit what they get. Like this, many Bhartis will be there, many Yasmins will be there who are interested to buy the shares. These are called as share market or shares. The shares can be equity share and preference shares. Equity shareholders are called as owners of the company. ఎవరైతే ఈక్విటీ షేర్స్ ని కొంటారో వాళ్ళకి కంపెనీలో ఓనర్షిప్ రైట్స్ ఉంటాయి. Whereas second category preference shares. Preference shareholder కి ఓనర్షిప్ రైట్స్ ఉండవు. వాళ్ళకి కావాల్సింది ఏంది, నేను డబ్బులు పెట్టాను మహేందర్ కంపెనీలో, నాకు నెల లేకపోతే సంవత్సరానికి ఇంత డివిడెండ్ వస్తే సరిపోతుంది. అండ్ ఎప్పుడైతే సపోజ్ కంపెనీ లాస్ లోకి పోయో లేకపోతే కంపెనీ క్లోజర్ కి వచ్చినప్పుడు నా అమౌంట్ నాకు సేఫ్ గా వస్తే చాలు అనుకునేవాడు ప్రిఫరెన్స్ షేర్ హోల్డర్. Whereas preference shareholder is one who looks for 2 benefits. One is he wants regular dividend on the shares invested. Second thing, whenever the company is going to wind up or closure, he wants to get, they are the one who will be paid their capital back. Well, their capital will be returned, their investment will be returned safely to them. They are called preference shareholders. Whereas equity shareholders are those people who do not look for dividend. They do not, they're not interested in generating revenue out of their investment. They are interested in power. What they want to be called as owners of the company. So they want to get that ownership rights in the company. Whenever you purchase equity shares, you will be given certain ownership rights. You can give orders, you can attend the meetings, you can discuss about the development of your industry. That kind of right you will get. That is equity shareholders. Whether it is equity shareholder or preference shareholders, you are called as the board members of the company. You will be the acting as the shareholders of the company. Second thing is debenture. Debenture means it is an acknowledgement of debt. Whenever a company, suppose Mahender wants to take some 10 lakh rupees as a loan from outside, from a financial institution, oka development bank nundo oka institution nundi loan teeskovali. For that, what he'll do, he will give an acknowledgement that I have taken a loan of 10 lakhs rupees from so and so company, and this is what the interest I am ready to pay. On that, he will give the approval stating that I will pay periodical rate of interest. This is what you call it as debenture. So this is what the industrial securities market is. Industrial securities market, various equity shares, preference shares, and debentures are purchased and sold. It is a market where the long-term loans are raised for various purposes, setting up of industry, development of industry, or opening new branches, or increasing the market area of your industry. Like this, you are going to work on it. And whether it is industrial market or whatever it is, capital market is again basically classified into two segments: primary market and secondary market. Since we are running out of time, I'll close the class here for today. We'll continue the same topic in the next class. I hope I am clear with all the topics today. Any queries?
No, ma'am.
Any others? Any doubts in the class in today's topic, ma?
No, ma'am.
Hope I am clear.
Clear.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Tomorrow again we'll meet at as per the scheduled time. Okay. We'll continue with the other topics tomorrow. But please make a habit of taking running notes when the class is going on. And any queries you can raise in the class. Okay. So
Okay,
thank
ma'am.
you.
Thank you, ma'am.
We'll meet tomorrow. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Hello. Okay.
Yes, students, are you there in the class? Hello? Sir, good morning, sir. Sir, I overlooked the time, sir. Could you please convey the students to join back again? It was actually 11:30. I thought it is up to 11 o'clock. I just minded it. But I want to continue for next half an hour also, sir. And I logged in. Mali నేను login అయ్యాను. I'm just trying to reach them. But students లేరు. Is there any group to convey, sir? To message them? Okay. At least their numbers, sir. Acha. There are few people, Lakshmi Prasanna, Kalyani, but I think they are not. No problem, sir. That's fine, sir. ठीक है, sir. Thank you. Thank you. Now, this classification of capital market, as we have studied, as the name is indicating, the capital market is a place where the long-term loans are raised and long-term securities are purchased and sold. This is further subclassified as industrial securities market, government securities market, and long-term market. Now, industrial securities market is a market where the shares and debentures are purchased and sold. We have learned about what are the now this industrial securities market is subclassified into two segments. One is primary market or new issue market, and the second one you call it as the secondary market. If you look at the first one, primary market, it is a marketplace where the fresh or new financial claims are purchased and sold. That means this is the first time that company might be introducing those shares in the market, or you are the first customer who are going to buy the shares and debentures of that nature. All that fresh issue which is coming for the first time into the market, which have been purchased, you are the one who are going to purchase and sold for the first time, such market you call it as a primary market year. That means new companies issues have been opened or raised in the market, you call it as a primary market. And the second category is second classification is secondary market. It is a market structure or a marketplace where already existing company shares and debentures are purchased and sold. That means already existing companies might be having their securities openly traded in the market. Somebody else might be the owner of it. Someone might have already purchased them, sold them and all. From them, you are going to purchase them or you are going to sell to them. So such kind of securities market, which is already, have come up into the market for a long time, that is there in the market, and you are going to buy them and sell them. That means you are continuing the tendency of that purchase and sale in the market. You call it as a secondary market here. And these stock exchanges or this primary or secondary market, they've been into the stock exchange, they've been working or traded on the floor of stock exchanges in our country, which is regulated by the authority called the SEBI, Securities Exchange Board of India, will be regulating the activities of this stock exchange and for the purchase and sale of securities in our country. This is about industrial securities market. Coming to the second category, that is government securities market. Government securities market are also known as gilt-edged securities market. Now, it is a market where government securities are traded. That means in India, there are many types of government securities which have been traded for a short term as well as long term period. These are of bond category. They are generally called as government bonds. It can be central government bonds, it can be state government bonds, sometimes even the semi-government authorities like City Corporation, Port Trust of India, or State Electricity Board, or all India state level financial institutions, any public sector enterprise, they are also willing to sell or purchase the bonds in a securities market. Such market, you call them as government securities market. The other name for government securities market is gilt-edged securities market. Then the third category, what we have under the capital market is long-term loan market. Under long-term loan market, we have, they perform the function of a commercial bank. How the commercial banks will be lending loans for various categories, they do perform the function of a commercial bank, like lending loans for various purposes. Term loans, short-term loans, medium-term loans, long-term loans. The other category, what they do is they do mortgaging of loans. That means by mortgaging your security or your assets, your land, your documents, any any document of residential kind or land papers, or any agriculture sector land papers, they will keep them as mortgage, as security, and will be lending loans on that particular basis. And once the term period is completed, once your loan is cleared, then that mortgage or whatever the things you have pledged with them as security, that will be returned to the concerned customer. This is about the mortgage loans. Then financial guarantee market. This is a market where there are certain non-banking finance companies which are coming forward to give guarantee on behalf of you for the purpose of benefit of customer. They'll be lending the loans to you as a security. That is financial guarantees market. So this way, capital market is working very actively in the securities market to encourage to lend various kinds of long-term loans to the needy people in the form of securities, in the form of bonds, in the form of debentures. You can buy them and sell them at a very attractive price. They are encouraging the customers. Not only that, whenever any person is in need of money, you can approach the capital market. You can go through the various types of lending categories, what they have. Out of that, you can select and you can act accordingly. This is about the capital market. Then the second category what we have is, under the financial markets, we have money market. As we have learned already, that money market is a place or a market where financial securities of maturity period of less than 1 year are purchased and sold. All the securities having a life of less than 1 year will be purchased and sold in a market called money market. And this money market is going to operate in our country in various instruments. There are many instruments that are there in money market which will support short-term lending where the repayment period is less than 1 year. So these are classified as call money market, commercial bill market, treasury bills market, and short-term loan market. Apart from this, there are many things, but for our class, we have condensed our topic to here, call money market. Now, it is a market where the loan is being assisted to the needy commercial bank for a very, very, very short period of time. That is for a maximum time period of 14 days. That means once you raise the loan, the time period to repay that loan will be given for 14 days only. Such kind of loan market, you call it as a call money market. This call money market facility is generally given to the commercial banks, where one commercial bank will be approaching the another commercial bank in financial emergency. Whenever a commercial bank is is falling short of funds, it has to give to the needy borrowers immediately. Whenever it is falling short of funds in their concerned branches, they approach the other branch or other bank for taking the loan. That kind of loan facility, you can raise it from a nearest branch or nearest bank, where the repayment schedule will be 14 days. This is generally a loan which is repayable on demand. That is, whenever the other bank, the bank which has lent to you, whenever they demand, you must be in a position to repay their loan amount. Such a short period market, you call it as call money market. Second category what we have is commercial bill market. It is a kind of bills of exchange which is given as one of the credit facility to the small business holders to work out their trade transactions. Suppose generally this commercial bill market is a facility given to a credit sales. Whenever the seller, whenever the buyer accepts the bill, and promises to repay them at a later date. That means you purchase one product, or you purchase or you take a loan for certain period of time, and you are promising to repay it at a later date. For that, you are making a bill of exchange. That bill of exchange will be with the seller. And suppose if the bill of exchange, they might be given 3 months, 6 months, 4 months tenure of time to repay the money. And whenever the seller is in need of money, before the maturity of that bill, he can take to the nearest banker, he can get it discounted with the banker, and he can raise the money out of it. Such kind of bill of exchange, you call it as a commercial bill market. Whenever the seller is in need of raising money at on immediate basis, or in any kind of financial emergency in his business, he can go keep this bill discounted with a commercial bank and raise the money. Later, the commercial bank will take the responsibility of collecting that bill amount from the concerned customer. This is what the commercial bill market, how this commercial bill market is operating. Then the third category we have is treasury bill market. This is a bill market for short-term maturity period. It is like a promissory note or a finance bill issued by the government. That means, suppose you have certain savings with you and you would like to deposit your money on a safe place. So you can buy a short-term maturity bond called treasury bill market. These are backed up by the government. That means these are the bills of the government, which is having a maturity period of less than 1 year. So you can keep your money with the government by buying this treasury bills for a period of 1 year. On that, government is going to pay you a certain rate of interest for the specified time period. And after the maturity period, you can demand from the government. On demand, you can, after the maturity period, you can take back your money by depositing, by giving this treasury bill, by returning this treasury bill to them. This is how the treasury bill market is going to work out. So one is call money market, commercial bill market, treasury bill market. Then we have the short-term money market, short-term borrowings. This is now, the short-term borrowing can be guaranteed by the government, wherein you can buy it is a market where which is very, very useful to the corporate customers. Actually, corporate customers means any industrialist or a short-term industry which is running a cottage industry, or you need some loans for making development in the existing business, or for the purchase of fertilizers, seeds, or any kind of commercial equipment for your business, you can raise the short-term loans from the short-term loan market, where the repayment period is very less, and the rate of interest that you need to pay on that will also be comparative lesser than what that is charged in a capital market. So basically, money market is very active in the country. Majority of industrialists, small business entrepreneurs, sole trading concerns, and small savers, middle class, below middle class savers, they opt to raise their loans from the money market. It is because it is a market for short-term concern. That is first thing. Second thing is the rate of interest what you need to pay on it is very, very less. third advantage with the money market is it is a market which is of highly liquid in nature. Highly liquid in nature. Immediately you can convert your securities. You can convert your securities into money within a short span of time. So highly flexible market. That is what the money market is. So here, if you observe, we have studied two important things under the financial markets. What are they? One is the capital market. The other one is the money market. Now, we have studied about what are the various types of capital markets that are running in the country, and also about the money market instruments, various types of money market instruments that are working for the development of financial market in our country. Now we'll focus on another important topic, that is stock exchange. What is this stock exchange? Stock exchange is a floor or a place where all the listed securities are purchased and sold. All the securities which are listed means registered on the floor of stock exchange will be purchased and sold. Now the securities can be, it can be a share, it can be a bond, it can be a commodity, it can be a currency. It can be a currency. All the securities which are purchased and sold on a floor where on the floor of stock exchange, all the listed securities will be purchased and sold on the floor of stock exchange. So basically, stock exchange is a platform which is facilitating all the industrialists, bankers, financial institutions, and various non-banking finance companies to sell their securities through the help of brokers on the floor of stock exchange. And the very important stock exchanges that are running in our country are NSE and BSE. National Stock Exchange and Bombay Stock Exchange are actively running in the country, which are encouraging the booming of financial markets in our country. Now, coming to the, what are the features or the basic characteristics of this stock exchange? Now, basically, a stock exchange is a market where various corporate securities are purchased and sold. It is a platform for various industries as well as to the government bodies. Many government, central government, state government securities, semi-government securities, and various securities of private industries, bonds and bills of various commercial banks, private banks have been purchased and sold on the floor of stock exchange. It deals with various primary and secondary issues. That means we have already studied primary market is a fresh market. Whichever the industry for the first time it wants to open up for the share market, securities market, they can get their name enrolled, registered on the floor of stock exchange. Once their company name is listed on the floor of stock exchange, they'll get a gateway to purchase and sell their shares on the floor of stock exchange here. That is dealing in primary market. On the other hand, it also deals with secondary market. That is, all the existing company shares are being purchased and sold on the floor of stock exchange. Third thing, stock exchange acts as a regulatory authority. That means it is going to frame the rules and regulations, norms, criteria. Everything will be framed by the stock exchange here. Now, regarding the regulatory work that is going to do and the various types of exchanges that are working in our country, we will look them in our next class. Okay, we'll continue the topic in the next class. Thank you.